Good morning. We are starting 1 minute early. I'm sitting. There's so much to talk about. Let's get going. We'll give a minute for that extra minute to let people pop in if they want to. Um, while we're working on these, share what you're going to be doing this weekend. Are you going to be reading? What are you going to be reading? Are you going to work on projects? What are you going to be doing? We're not going to see each other for 2 whole days. You got to let me know. I am currently, by the way, hi, welcome, welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Friday, August the 18th, and we made it to Friday, and I am so glad it's Friday. It's been that kind of a week. Um, it just is when you're a five-person office down to three. This is what I am currently going to be working on this weekend. I'm at 51% on A Murderous Relation by Deanna Rayburn. This series is a lot more sexual than her other series. Let me just say that it's not spicy, but they do talk around these things a lot. A healthy libido, as she would say. I would still like to try The Aeronaut's Windlass by Jim Butcher. Gotta finish No Honor in Death by Eric Thompson. It's not that I'm not liking it. I just sort of lost momentum on that one. And looking at all these spy versus spy books, I want to read them all. And I look at other booktubers and I want to read all that they're talking about. Luckily, I don't have any plans this weekend. I'm not doing sprints, but hopefully I will get some of that done as well. All right, let's share this this one, and we're going to look at comments, and then we'll jump into the books. First, let me get rid of this banner. Let's go here. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning, Mary. Alicia, happy Friday, TGIF. Oh, so much so. Hi, Cajun. Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Alicia, I have one for you if you don't. Oh, excellent. A peculiar combination. Oh, very nice. I'm looking forward to Spy versus Spy. Me too, man. It's just getting me all excited about it. Deborah, good morning, everybody. Going to a beach on, oh, neat, in Virginia. Excited. I bet it's going to be just so. Are you on a budget or just let yourself go? I recommend, of course, the latter. Just enjoy and let yourself get what you want to get. Oh, yes. I was just thinking about that. I've been taking a break from beading, and pretty much everything I'm wearing now is a Randy jewelry. Not that that is a good thing, but I probably need to expand my repertoire. Let's jump in. All right. So yesterday, I kind of told a not truth only because I forgot. I was saying that the Scarlet Pimpernel was one of it was one of the first books that got me going on loving this kind of genre, but my first was Harriet the Spy. That was my favorite book growing up. I loved it. I did not watch the movie because it looked like they slaughtered it. I read this book over and over and over again. I love it. Harriet the Spy by Louise Fitzhugh. It should be given to every little girl. So yes, that was my first one. So kind of going off of that, I was gonna look at sort of female ones, and I was in my little list here. My little list. Look at all those. Whee! And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Um, did you get dizzy? Sorry, I went by there kind of fast. I was looking at this and going, "What is this one?" I've not read this one, and I probably included it because it sounded interesting to me, and maybe this is something I will read in September. It's called "I Always Wanted to Be a Spy." Isn't that a great title? By Judith A. Barrett. It's a 7 series. It says, "Only a librarian with the soul of a spy could read the clues to stop a killer." Doesn't that get you right there? A heart-wrenching murder changes her life forever, and Maggie transforms from prey to predator. Will the librarian with the soul of a spy and the unusual support team stop the desperate kingpin, or will she become the latest victim? It all comes down to kill or be killed. I don't know if you would consider this more of a mystery because I've not read it, but the title got me, the premise caught me, so I had included that on the list because it sounded kind of cute. So, looking at females, let's look at some female stuff. Female Friday. Oh, um, This series by Stella Remington, I have read, except for the very last one, but it is very good. The author herself, was the head of MI5, like the first female head. There's 10 in this series, and it says a terrorist is targeting Britain, and to make matters worse, it is an invisible MI5 speak for someone traveling under a British passport, virtually impossible to find before it's too late. The job falls to Liz Carlyle, the most resourceful counter-terror agent in British intelligence. Tracking down this invisible is a challenge like none she has faced before. It will require all her hard-won experience, to say nothing of her intelligence and courage. Drawing on her own years as Britain's highest-ranking spy, Stella Remington gives us a story that is smart, tautly drawn, and suspenseful from first to last. I really did like this series. Aren't there some books that you just want to reread again for the first time? Like it's a new experience. This is that kind of smart read. And I do have to say, I am partial to the British secret agents, not necessarily because of James Bond, but I like the MI5, MI6 stuff more than CIA stuff. So that's kind of plus. If you're looking at old series, there's MI5, the British TV series called Spooks on that side. Love that one too. Yes, I like spies. All right. Good morning, Lee. Welcome. I'm glad you're able to be here. Awesome. We are talking about good because it's a good one. Um, I love British stuff too. That's just me. We're talking about spy versus spy, and we're going to kind of focus on females today. And this one is another, if you want to look at classics, John, and I'm going to say his name wrong. I'm going to say Le Carre. Um, his name is giant in this field, and this one in particular I'm going to highlight is The Little Drummer Girl. And again, I'm going to draw on TV. That's what the cover is coming from. A&E, no, AMC. One of those channels did a mini series of it, and it was really good. It got me intrigued to read the actual book. It says, you want to catch the lion? First you tether the goat. On holiday in Mykonos, Charlie wants only sunny days and a brief escape from England's bourgeois dreariness. Then a handsome stranger lures the aspiring actress away from her pals, but his intentions are far from romantic. Joseph is an Israeli intelligence officer, and Charlie has been wooed to flesh out the leader of a Palestinian terrorist group responsible for a string of deadly bombings. Still uncertain of her own allegiances, she debuts in the role of a lifetime as a double agent in the theater of the real. The miniseries did really, really good. I do have this one, and I never got around to reading it in full yet. I had started and then, had that squirrel moment of, oh, shiny, which I do. Let us, there's some romances there. We looked at that one already. Unfortunately, Hollywood has found some of these, so they've been Hollywoodized. Forget that part. Read the book, of course, is always way better. This one is Red Sparrow by Jason Matthews. In contemporary Russia, state intelligence officer Dominika Egorova has been drafted to become a sparrow, a spy trained in the art of seduction to elicit information from their marks. So I kind of think when I was putting this in here, sort of like Marvel's Black Widow kind of vibe. She's been assigned to Nathaniel Nash, a CIA officer who handles the organization's most sensitive penetration of Russian intelligence. The two young intelligence officers, trained in their respective spy schools, collide in a charged atmosphere of tradecraft, deception, and inevitably a forbidden spiral of carnal attraction that threatens their careers and the security of America's valuable mole in Moscow. And there are 3 in that. Let's go down here. If you want something a little bit more um, fantastic, humorish, maybe. Um, this one is steampunk. Uh, the first book is called Etiquette and Espionage by Gail Carrier. She is the one. She does two other series, I believe, similar to this. The Parasol Protectorate is, I think, her first series. 14-year-old Sophronia is a great trial to her poor mother. Sophronia is more interested in dismantling clocks and climbing trees than proper manners, and the family can only hope that company never sees her atrocious curtsy. Mrs. Temenick is desperate for her daughter to become a proper lady, so she enrolls Sophronia in Mademoiselle Geraldine's finishing academy for young ladies of quality. But Sophronia soon realizes the school is not quite what her mother might have hoped. At Mademoiselle Geraldine's, young ladies learn to finish everything. Certainly, they learn the fine arts of dance, dress, and etiquette, but they also learn to deal out death, diversion, and espionage. In the politest possible ways, of course. Sophronia and her friends are in for a rousing first year's education. So, Gail Carriger would be, if you want to, a more maybe tongue in cheek. I also included one of her other series is there, starting with Prudence. Uh, let's see. We could look at that. We're gonna look at middle grade. Sure, sure, sure. Let's go to this one. Let's jump into a historical. I'm gonna close some tabs here because oh, very good. All right, so this is a historical mystery series. She starts as Mr. Churchill's secretary per the title, but then she is trained as a spy. This is by Susan Elia McNeil, 10 in the series. London, 1940. Winston Churchill has been sworn in, war rages across the Channel, and the threat of a blitz looms larger by the day. But none of this deters Maggie Hope. She graduated at the top of her college class and possesses all the skills and the finest minds in British intelligence, but her gender qualifies her only to be the newest typist at number 10 Downing Street. But if you've read history, those ladies were amazing. They were amazing. I don't even downgrade that status. Her indefatigable spirit and remarkable gifts for code breaking, though, rival those of even the brightest men in government, and Maggie finds that working for the Prime Minister affords her a level of clearance she could never have imagined, and opportunities she will not let pass. In troubled, deadly times, with air raid sirens sending multitudes underground, access to the war rooms also exposes Maggie to the machinations of a menacing faction determined to do whatever it takes to change the course of history. Ensnared in a web of spies, murder, and intrigue, Maggie must work quickly to balance her duty to king and country with her chances for survival. And when she unravels the mystery that points toward her own family's hidden secrets, she'll discover that her quick wits are all that stand between an assassin's murderous plan and Churchill himself. I have read this first one. I will be reading the rest of the series. I really did enjoy that. But looking ahead, there was more of her being an actual spy. Of course, can't also humorous but female Friday-ish. Can't ignore this series by Rhys Bowen. Her Royal Spyness. There's 17 in this series. London, 1932. Lady Victoria Georgiana Charlotte Eugenie, 34th in line for the English throne, is flat broke. She's bolted Scotland, her greedy brother, and her fish-faced betrothed. London is a place where she'll experience freedom, learn life lessons aplenty, do a bit of spying for Her Royal Highness, oh, and find a dead Frenchman in her tub. Now her new job is to clear her long family name. You could technically call this a spy versus spy book. There is more humor here, and I'm not saying that's not a part of spies. This I think would emphasize more of the mystery than say espionage, but we'll include it. We're equal opportunity. Ah, Mrs. Halifax, another classic by Dorothy Gilman. There's 14 books in this series. Mrs. Virgil, Emily Halifax of New Brunswick, New Jersey, was a widow with grown married children. She was tired of attending her garden club meetings. She wanted to do something good for her country, so naturally she became a CIA agent. She takes on a job in Mexico City. The assignment doesn't sound dangerous at first, but then, as often happens, something goes wrong. Now our dear Mrs. Halifax finds herself embroiled in quite a hot Cold War, and her country's enemies find themselves entangled with one unbelievably feisty lady. A very good series too. If you want to go, Senior Sleuths is a huge trend, and also that is a classic. So you'd be hitting two birds with one stone on that one. Yes, it is very good. You did see the movie? Very good. And Mrs. Halifax is my favorite for yes, and the narrator is awesome. Very good. So if you wanted to maybe work on a project but also listen to an audiobook, that is a good choice. Um, let's slide down here for a moment. I was gonna check this one out. I think I found this one initially when I was browsing on a digital library for some options. A Sense of Danger. There's only two books in this one though. A Section 47 book. It's okay. It wouldn't be a huge commitment. By Jennifer Estep. Spy. My name is Charlotte Locke, and I'm an analyst for Section 47, a secret government agency that tracks terrorists, criminals, and other paramortal bad guys who want to unleash their abilities on an unsuspecting mortal world. I have a magical form of synesthesia that senses danger and uncovers lies, making me a stealthy operative. I'm trudging through another day when one of Section's cleaners, assassins, takes an interest in me. I don't need my synesthesia to realize that he is extremely dangerous and that he will do anything to achieve his goals, even if it means putting me in the line of fire. And an assassin. I'm Desmond Percy, one of Section 47's most lethal cleaners. I'm also a man on a mission, and I need Charlotte Locke's skills to help me keep a promise, settle a score, and kill some extremely bad people. Charlotte might not like me, but we're stuck together until my mission is over. Still, the more time we spend together, the more I'm drawn to her. But at Section 47, you never know who you can trust or who might want you dead. So this would definitely be more in the romance spy type of story. And you can tell because it's, the two points of view. That is a classic romance uh, structure. Speaking of structures, you'll often find, particularly with historical ones, I'm finding that mysteries from those eras are use the spying for being a secret agent for king and country, queen and country, um, as a good framework to have these murder mysteries, because why else would you keep stumbling over bodies? So you will find that quite often as a framework. Um, this one has a strong female. Secret Service, the Kate Henderson thrillers. This is by Tom Bradby. There's three. Senior MI6 officer Kate Henderson is in possession of the political equivalent of a nuclear bomb. She heads up the Russia desk of the Secret Intelligence Service, and one of her undercover operations has revealed some alarming evidence that a senior UK politician is a high level Russian informer. Determined to find the identity of the traitor, Kate must risk everything to get to the truth, until a young woman is brutally murdered as a consequence, which puts Kate and her team under the spotlight. With blood on her hands, her reputation to uphold, her family hanging on by a thread, and an election looming, Kate is quickly running out of options and out of time. That also sounded really good to me. Uh, go into this one. That looks fun. I'd tell you I love you, but then I'd have to kill you. There's a line by Allie Carter. There's 6 in this series. Cami Morgan is a student at the Gallagher Academy for Exceptional Young Women, a fairly typical all-girls school. That is, if every school taught advanced martial arts and PE and the latest in chemical warfare and science, and students received extra credit for breaking CIA codes in computer class. The Gallagher Academy might claim to be a school for geniuses, but it's really a school for spies. Even though Cami is fluent in 14 languages and capable of killing a man in 7 different ways, she only 7? She has no idea what to do when she meets an ordinary boy who thinks she's an ordinary girl. Sure, she can tap his phone, hack into his computer, or track him through town with the skill of a real pavement artist, but can she maneuver a relationship with someone who can never know the truth about her? That sounded cute. I was gonna take a look because the titles also caught me. Cross my heart and hope to spy. Don't judge a girl by her cover. Undercover, boom, boom. Only the good spy young, out of sight, out of time, united we spy. So I thought those were clever if you're looking for um, something fun, something younger. See? Spy books everywhere. We love them. Okay, let us go. I had started to talk about this one before we ran out of time yesterday, and I had mentioned that often they do use the being an agent for the government, for the crown, as the framework. This one definitely does that. The first one, not so much. I mentioned it's more of an origin story. It's her, how she comes to be a more a female who is solving a crime. But then in later books, like I mentioned yesterday, also the globe trotting thing. Um, this one is in Tears of Pearls in the Ottoman Empire. This one is in Normandy, France. He is an agent, and she definitely helps him. Venice. See? Um, St. Petersburg, Roman Empire, Florence, Secrets of the Nile, the Cold Highland Wind, so Scotland. So that one is great for historical, for and there I did. I'm sorry. I forgot to click the tab, but this is the Tasha Alexander, and there's 17 books and different locations if you wanted to do both historical, some spy work, and going in different going to different countries. That fun little globe hopping thing. So we are out of time. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. I'm going to remember to click that tab now. The Librarian Spy by Madeline Martin. Ava thought her job as a librarian at the Library of Congress would mean a quiet, routine existence, but an unexpected offer from the U.S. military has brought her to Lisbon with a new mission, posing as a librarian while working undercover as a spy gathering intelligence. Meanwhile, in occupied France, Elaine has begun an apprenticeship at a printing press run by members of the resistance. It's a job usually reserved for men, but in the war, those rules have been forgotten. Yet she knows that the Nazis are searching for the press and its printer in order to silence them. As the battle in Europe rages, Ava and Elaine find themselves connecting through coded message and discovering hope in the face of war. And those have become more popular too. You can find a lot of that type of story as well. So I apologize. We ran out of time. We'll be looking at some more of these. But I appreciate you guys coming this morning and coming all week or looking at replays. Um, we do not have any reading sprints tonight. Our next reading sprints here are on Tuesday, and it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday again at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. But if you want to do some reading sprints otherwise, you can do that on our in our little group here of tomorrow. Saturday is on the Bookish Knitter with Sarah. I think she starts at 12 or 1 o'clock my time. But you can check her channel, The Bookish Knitter. Then on Sunday is Beach Bum Bookworm with Tiffany. And then on Monday evenings, between Lee here at Dark Roots Creations and Storm at Storm Reads, they also do sprints, but I fill in that gap on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Monday morning, we'll be back again here looking at new releases at 6 in the morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And but in the meantime, I hope you have a really good weekend. I hope you get some reading in done. Uh, Mary, thanks as always for this and the sprints this week. Everyone have a great weekend and hope to see everyone on Monday morning. Have a great weekend, everybody. Everyone have a great day and happy reading. You bet. Have a great day and happy weekend. All right. Thank you, everybody. And remember, you don't get good person points if you're reading something you're not liking. It's okay to set it down, set it aside. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Doesn't mean that the author was bad. Doesn't mean the book is bad. It's just not the right time. So reading is enjoyable. Read something that you like. And in the comments, if you want to mention what you are reading this weekend, share with everybody so we can get some good ideas. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, because you never know when I'm going to be doing some spontaneous sprinting around the websites, the channels that I mentioned previously. I try not to step on anybody's toes there. But have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. Thank you so much. And God bless. Thank you. Bye-bye.